The harlot's influence can be very strong. The attitude which defines a harlot goes much deeper than sexual promiscuity. If you see wanton eyes, if you see deliberate attempts to seduce, then recognize the manipulation and be assured that going along with it will harm you very badly. Proverbs chapter 5 verses 1 to 14. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow down thine ear to my understanding, that thou mayest regard discretion, and that thy lips may keep knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps take hold on hell. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou canst not know them. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove thy way far from her, and come not near the door of her house, lest thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel, lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger, and thou mourn at the last when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof, and have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. I was almost, that is, within a short time, in all evil, in the midst of the congregation and assembly. There are also many whoremongers who use women for their own covetous ends. Every banner and image seen of a seductive person should be labeled and recognized as an attempt to seduce in a scheme, usually a scheme to directly or indirectly make money off of people. There is no goodness, honesty, or innocence in such things. This is bad enough when those used for these ends are willing participants. It is exceedingly worse when they are victims of human trafficking, blackmail, or some other form of manipulation. All sexual lust is based upon lies, as it all involves manipulation and covetousness somehow. Many don't overcome it because they don't recognize and acknowledge it for the deadly poison that it is. It is ultimately intended by the devil to destroy people's souls. However, those who actually hear and take heed to the Bible don't lack such discernment. Proverbs 11:22. As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman which is without discretion. Proverbs 30:20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness. Proverbs chapter 7. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. Bind them upon thy fingers, write them upon the table of thine heart. Say unto wisdom, Thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman, that they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words. For at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and beheld among the simple ones. I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding, passing through the street near her corner. And he went the way to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot, and subtle of heart. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. So she caught him, and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, I have peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows. My note, harlots might be very religious, yet their religion is not the pure, undefiled religion which the Bible prescribes. Continuing, therefore came I forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face, and I have found thee. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves, for the good man is not at home. He has gone a long journey. He hath taken a bag of money with him, and will come home at the day appointed. With her much fair speech she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips she forced him. He goeth after her straightway, as an ox goeth to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasteth to the snare or the trap, and knoweth not that it is for his life. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths. For she hath cast down many wounded. Yes, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. The convenient place to stop is before you ever start to give in to temptation. Delilah was a Jezebel in spirit before the actual Jezebel even existed. And Samson, despite all his physical might, was under her spell due to her beauty and charm. Read Judges chapter 16 and look at what Samson lost due to that. And though the Philistines meant it for evil, it was a mercy to Samson that they put out his eyes, because his bent towards feminine seduction was thus starved, and he was able to recover in the Lord to have a good ending, at least a much better ending than he had been on track for when he was seduced by Delilah. When you see seduction, then, from anyone, man or woman, recognize it for the deception and the overall menace that it is. Remember also how when Jehu had just been anointed as king of Israel and was coming to kill Jezebel, due to how God had deputized him to do that, Jezebel painted her face, that is, she put on makeup to try to seduce Jehu. Jehu, unlike Samson, chose to be blind to the harlot and wasn't swayed from his godly mission due to the seduction. Whether it's from the seducer directly or the one whose control the seducer might be under, the following passage fits in relation to seduction through sexual lust, as it does in its immediate context to accepting favors from the covetous, who are proven that they are seeking to use you and manipulate you in other ways. Proverbs chapter 23, verses 6 to 8. Eat, eat thou not the bread of him that hath an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. The morsel which thou hast eaten shalt thou vomit up, and lose thy sweet words. 1 Corinthians 6:18. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. What does this all say about those who entice others to fornicate by seductive behavior and or lascivious dressing? They are obviously in big trouble with God, whether they are successful in their enticement or not. Hebrews 13:4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. Make sure that you have absolutely nothing to do with the promotion and or prosperity of harlotry. Proverbs chapter 2 verses 10 to 22. When wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh froward things, who leave the paths of uprightness, to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil, and delight in the frowardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and they are froward in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flattereth with her words, which forsaketh the guide of her youth, and forgetteth the covenant of her God. For her house inclineth unto death, and her paths unto the dead. None that go under her return again, neither take they hold of the paths of life, that thou mayest walk in the way of good men, and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressors shall be rooted out of it.